Travel at low cost with points and miles. Credit card rewards bring the smiles. Many adventures, tales to be told. Make and save money, the world will unfold. Fight the war on happiness, pick up the gold. Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast breaks the mold.
You're listening to the Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Vacula, here to help you travel the world at next to no cost with credit card points, miles, benefits, and loyalty programs. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. Caesars Rewards released a new credit card. Visit meetup.com/Philly miles and points to RSVP for monthly Greater Philadelphia travel, credit miles and points meetups I host in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. The next meetup is August 24th, 2025. Find a link in the show notes. For more content between podcast episodes, follow Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast on Facebook and X. Follow Justin Vacula on Instagram. Subscribe to Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast on YouTube for daily content, including travel videos, podcast clips, community, and posts. On with today's episode, recorded on July 16th, 2025. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to the show, Darren.
Thanks for having me, Justin. Breaking news, very exciting show for everyone today.
Yes, emergency podcast episode. The cruise trip reports will be benched for now because we finally got what we've been asking for, a new Caesars Rewards credit card, the Caesars Rewards registered trademark, Prestige Visa Signature registered trademark credit card.
All the trademarks. You think it's the card with the most registered trademarks in its name, Justin?
I would gamble on a no for this.
No, you think EV negative?
I think we have more longer card names with US Bank and Citi, so probably more registered trademarks going on there. But this is an interesting opportunity, especially since it's a casino branded credit card. Always happy to hear about new cards. It's not everything we've asked for, but it is some things that we've asked for. So maybe they're listening, maybe not. But I think there is a lot of potential here.
If they are listening, is there anything else you'd like to ask for while we're asking for things? It just seems appropriate. So far, so good.
Later in the episode, for sure, we'll ask for some changes.
Sounds great.
And clarification.
Yeah. This is the new Caesars Rewards Prestige Visa Signature trademark by a community, but there's already a old Caesars Rewards credit card. Remind us about that.
Yes, there is a Caesars Rewards Visa also issued by Comenity/Bread Financial, a more obscure bank, but a possibly rewarding one. They had no annual fee on their card, a small sign-up bonus, usually of 10,000 reward credits, a small tier credit bump. The spending category is not so interesting, but they have a high spend goal on the old card where you spent 5,000 in a calendar year and you got 5,000 tier credits. So that was a good bump on the way to Diamond, but the main weakness of this card we've talked about before is that you can't spend your way to the higher status levels. But now with the Caesars Rewards Prestige card, we'll just call it that from now on for easy podcast listening. The new Caesars Rewards card, $149 annual fee, you're getting many benefits and you're able to spend your way to status. The sign-up bonus is giving you 20,000 reward credits. This is worth approximately $200 depending on how you use the credits, but let's just say that for most redemptions, 20K reward credit sign-up bonus is going to be worth $200. So this would be adding to your Caesars Rewards casino account, and you could use these reward credits for food, hotel stays, and much more. And in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, and other states with online gambling, we have the opportunity to convert that one-to-one to free play. So 20,000 reward credits would convert to $200 in free play that we could use for blackjack or other games. So with this new card, you get the 20K reward credits and 2,500 tier credits after spending $1,000 in 90 days outside Caesars destinations. Yeah, so you can't just wail away at the casino and get the sign-up bonus. So it's a weird thing that they say, but you'd think they would want you to do that, but maybe not. With a credit card, I don't know.
Nobody
the
knows.
2500 tier will help towards status, and we'll get into more tier. So the reward credits are basically comps or free play if you convert online, and the tier is what you need to get status with Caesars Rewards. Some other features of the card: you earn 7x reward credits for spending at Caesars destinations. This would be food, hotel stays, and much more. That's really interesting, 7x. And then the other earning isn't super interesting. 2x dining, that's not competitive with many other cards. 2x travel, definitely not competitive. 2x entertainment, not really sure what that all includes. Maybe concerts, Ticketmaster, StubHub, maybe, things like that. 1x everywhere else. And it has a new feature compared to the older card that you earn 1x comps reward credits on cash advances. And this card allows you to load to Caesars websites, Caesars online gambling sites, as a cash advance with no cash advance fee. This is odd. It's not a purchase, as various MGM cards, the MGM credit cards, you could use the credit card and it counts as a purchase when loading to online gambling sites. So with a cash advance, it appears to be the case that interest starts accruing immediately on cash advances. So if you were to load $1,000 to Caesars Palace online, then the time is ticking on interest on that cash advance, even though the statement didn't close, even though 30 days hasn't passed. So it sounds like a little bit of an America loves math moment on cash advance fees that could be very low if paid off almost immediately.
Speaking of America loves math, so I did a little math in preparation for this. So I'd imagine everyone's cash advance fee interest may be different based on credit score and so forth. But if we use a number like 20% APR, annual percentage rate on interest, if you loaded $1,000, you would accrue about 55 cents of interest per day. So you'd earn 1,000 tier. Am I thinking about that correctly?
No, it's 1x reward
1x reward credits.
That's
Okay. And then, however, depending on how you use that $1,000, you would depend on how many tier you earned, what games you played, and that sort of thing. That's correct?
You're not going to earn tier from the spend on the credit card, except for some of the bonus tier that we'll talk about later.
But I'd say, step back here. I load $1,000 from my credit card onto a Caesars online casino. I earn $1,000 in rewards credit, and that is worth $10.
Okay. Yes.
And then for every day that I don't pay that off, I accrue 55 cents of interest per day at 20% APR. And then depending how I spend that money or how I use that money, what games I play with that money, that determines my tier credit. The situation, everything before that, that's what determines that. That's
so okay. Yes, on blackjack, it's my understanding that you get 1 tier credit for online gambling per $50 wagered. So if you were to play through $1,000 exactly once, you would get 20 tier credits. And then of course you would get the 1,000 reward credits, which is $10. So if you were to pay it immediately, then you might only get charged per day. So if it takes 3 days for it to go from pending to posted, maybe you pay 55 cents 3 times, but you earned that $10 in comps or reward credits, and you earned some tier from the games itself. We'll see how that actually would play out, because if it's pending, is it going to accrue interest as a pending transaction? Or is the interest going to accrue only after it goes from pending to posted? But let's say in a worst case scenario, we load that 1,000, it takes 3 days to go from pending to posted, and then we make that payment, we're only charged $1.50, but we get $10 in comps and then the base tier on the game itself. I think that's an optimistic or fair situation.
Yeah, and if you're playing optimal blackjack, you're somewhere in the 0.5%, 1% expected cost of that. So you're essentially trading your 1x rewards credit for that 1% expected loss, right? So that's offsets that, and you're able to spend and earn tier credits as well. So some opportunities there.
I don't love it, but I like it. It would be great if it didn't code as cash advance and it coded as a purchase. And this also probably doesn't count toward the spending requirements on the card because it says purchases, and this specifically says cash advance. So some war on happiness there that the online loads don't count toward the spend goals on the credit cards. So I still think it's a positive play, but not an amazing one. And I know we've had some difficulties using prepaid cards and other types of debit cards, let's say, on the Caesars websites. So if we could use the credit card to load, that's nice, because otherwise we're getting throttled when we're trying to fund the Caesar sites in other ways, or certain rewarding debit cards have just outright been blocked.
Yeah, so you're in the community potentially allows you to use some of those reward earning debit cards to pay that card. So we're just moving money through an intermediator here through the Caesars Prestige card, earning reward credits on its way, accruing a little bit of interest, but also earning some rewards on the other end. So I think you start stacking it up. Like you say, I like it, but I don't love it. It's not 3x MGM. So on purchases, that's still the golden egg.
Yes, with the MGM credit cards, we've definitely talked about that in past episodes, that BetMGM online gambling has run promotions where if you were to use MGM credit cards to load to BetMGM, you get 3x comps and 3x tier. But unfortunately, with this new Caesars Rewards Prestige Visa Signature card, you're only getting the reward credits. So you're not getting tier on all the spend, but you do get some tier. There's an annual bonus of 2,500 tier for spending 5,000 in purchases, not the loads as cash advance once again. So you can get 2,500 tier every calendar year after 5K in purchases. Another 2,500 tier for spending 10K total in purchases. Another 15K tier spending $50,000 in a calendar year on purchases, not the cash advances. So you can spend your way to 20K tier every year, more than you need for regular diamond status with Caesars. That's 15K tier. And it gets you very close to 25,000 tier that you need for Diamond Plus. So very interesting that now with this new credit card, everyone, assuming they have enough credit limit and enough spend, of course, they can spend their way to diamond status. So you don't have to rely on status matching. We hear all the lamentations, oh, status matching is dead. We can't get Caesar status anymore. But now they're giving us a way to get diamond status. So for those intermediate to advanced listeners who have a lot of creative ways to spend, and they're looking for new cards to put the spend in to get rewarded, this can be a very interesting opportunity. And with the status levels, you're going to get various benefits. There's the classic $100 celebration dinner that comes with diamond status. So that's once a calendar year or a tier year. It goes through January 31. But basically, once a year, you get a $100 dining credit. Diamond status is waiving those dreaded resort fees. So you're not having to pay an extra $40 to $50 a night when staying with Caesars property. And you're going to get comp nights as well. So if you get the 15K tier for diamond, you're getting one comp night every 5K. So that's 3 comp nights. So it's interesting that now you can spend your way to diamond status every year. A little bit of a high goal for some, but again, those who are listening who have a lot of creative spending ways, you can get there. The credit card, as I mentioned, has a $149 annual fee. So sign-up bonus is going to offset that in year one. And there are other benefits. They're advertising $50 in free slot play, $100 dining credit, and a comp hotel night up to $300 per year. I'm not clear as to how that comp hotel night's going to work. Is it going to be a certificate like the nights that we earn on the way to diamond status that I mentioned? So if you're getting $100 dining credit and $50 free slot play, that's $150 offsetting the annual fee. And then when you get the bonus tier and some of the other benefits of status, I think it's a very low price for an annual fee, getting some decent benefits.
Yeah, I was just doing some math because Justin, America loves math. But so if you spend that 50K on this card and you say you do it at, say, 2x, something close to 2x, in dining, or maybe a few Caesars properties or restaurants, and maybe a little 1x mixed in there, but you get close to 2x overall. So that's 100,000 rewards credits, right, per year that you would earn on the 50K spend, which would be $1,000 in comps or free play that you could cash in. So it's a little bit of a 2% type card there. You're also going to earn some amount of money, perhaps if you're paying that off with a rewards debit card. So maybe another $750 there, offset by an annual fee, $150. And there's always opportunity costs depending on what your other options are and what else you're trying to focus on in your advantage play here. But yeah, I think a lot of opportunities. And like you say, it's what we've been asking for, the opportunity to find a way to get to Diamond or Diamond Plus, primarily through credit card spend and not as much of the online play, which can be much more variable, or even in-person play, much more variable, much more challenging to get done if you want to achieve that Diamond or Diamond Plus and get some of those benefits.
Yes, and this also might open future tier matching. There's not too much going on, whereas last year, Wynn Las Vegas had a tier match, Fontainebleau had a tier match, and various others. Some MGM challenges where you get MGM status for maybe 3 months. I think Virgin is still offering tier matching in Las Vegas. Rio tier matching just ended. That was very limited. But you might be able to move that Diamond or Diamond Plus status into other programs in the future. There are some other benefits for frequent casino visitors. With Diamond status, you get lounge access. If you use 1,000 reward credits, which is basically $10, a lot of the lounges have closed, but still some are open, especially Harrah's in Atlantic City. Diamond also gives you complimentary drinks at some property. I've had this in Lake Tahoe. Just the regular Diamond gave the drinks. Diamond Plus definitely gives you comp drinks in Vegas and other locations. I've had 4 drinks a day at Pinky's by Vanderpump. There was some incorrect information recently about alleged changes that were made, that some properties removed the drink vouchers, the drink credits, whatever you want to call it. But Pinky's by Vanderpump still allows it. They did remove Starbucks earlier in the year. This wasn't a recent change. It was earlier in the year. But many of the bars still give the drinks. There's also Guy Fieri's at Horseshoe in Paris, and you could use those for drinks there, even non-alcoholic drinks. And the Gordon Ramsay restaurants accept the drink vouchers as well. So there are some opportunities in Vegas and other properties. Again, Starbucks and some other places removed, but still lots of opportunities, especially for those looking for alcohol. As we hear a lot, oh, drinks in Vegas are so expensive. Oh, food is so expensive in Vegas. But constantly we're talking on here about creative ways to lower the cost of those Vegas trips. And here's an opportunity with a credit card that can get you to that.
I think it's a great segue, Justin, to say who should be interested in this card. Certainly, a lot of these benefits revolve around in-casino opportunities, whether it be comps or free play through those reward credits as a discount or a rebate against the annual fee and other things. So what do you think? Who should be thinking about this card?
Obviously, people visiting
You, Justin. You want this card. Besides you, though. Besides.
Yes, people who stay and play at Caesars properties, Las Vegas visitors, people who value status and the tier credits. So this can really help you get to that next level. We mentioned it can get you to Diamond. It'll get you close to Diamond Plus, and it will also get you a good way into the Diamond Elite status with Caesars. So that's 75K tier for Diamond Elite, and this card can get you a good chunk of the way there. Diamond Elite gives you a $600 airfare rebate, and I've been getting various emails that have said Diamond Elite at the top and then give me flight offers. Oh, chartered flight to Gulf Coast, chartered flight to Vegas, come out to Laughlin, come out to Lake Tahoe, and so on. I did play video poker earlier in the year during the 10x tier promotions that we've talked about before. So that probably has something to do with it, but there might be a future in which you spend your way to status and then you start getting offers for comp flights, comp rooms, gifts, free play, and much more. So that we don't know, because previously with the no annual fee Caesars card, you can only get 5,000 tier a year, and that doesn't get you to diamond or better. So the card is appealing to people who stay and play at Caesars, visit Las Vegas and other destinations like Atlantic City. The tier matching is really appealing. So for those going to different casinos, matching, we might see other opportunities opening in later 2025 or sometime in 2026. Occasional travelers who want easy platinum status. A feature of this card and the no annual fee card is that after your first purchase in 90 days, you get Caesars Platinum status, which is a low level status with Caesars rewards, but that gives you complimentary parking and maybe tier matches with Platinum. I think at one point Wynn Las Vegas was accepting Caesars Platinum, or maybe it was Fontainebleau. I don't quite remember, but there could be some tier matching even with Platinum status. So if you're not putting in the 50K spend, you can still get the Platinum status just by being a card holder.
That's every year, that as long as you maintain the card as being active and pay the annual fee, you maintain low-level Platinum status?
Yes, you maintain the Platinum status as long as you have the credit card.
Yeah, like you said, I think that's a good entry point for a lot of folks that maybe are only going to Vegas once a year or a couple other casino or locations once or twice a year. Take advantage of that free parking and maybe some tier matches when they become available. A little spend on the card, some free play when you get there, or some comps. Eat at the steakhouse. I know, Justin, that's your favorite place to eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like even for a casual, I don't say gambler, but casual casino attendee, that's not the right term, casual casino visitor. There you go. Thank you for that. It seems like it has some appeal there. And the cash advance probably isn't going to be a big deal for them because they're not probably loading that onto Caesars websites, but they spend some money on entertainment, they spend some money on dining, and they can accrue a few points that makes their trip to Vegas or Atlantic City or one of the many other Caesars properties that we've talked about a little more enjoyable.
7x on Caesars purchases. So that's interesting. We might have other cards with 5x on travel, and those can be worth more than a cent per point, but 7x is not so bad. And there could be some uplift with these Caesars comps as well, as there was a recent promotion for all-you-can-eat breakfast for $20 at Guy Fieri's, once again at Horseshoe in Paris. So $20 for an all-you-can-eat breakfast, not terrible, especially for Vegas. And then you can also use your drink vouchers there if you get the Diamond Plus status. I'm not sure if that's still going on in mid-July. I will be in Vegas at the end of July, early August. I'll go there for the show, of course, and see if that's still happening. And can I stack the drink vouchers and the comps and the all-you-can-eat breakfast? Time will tell. So sometimes these opportunities open where we get more value out of the reward credits or the comps. So this is a way to earn those within the Caesars system. Otherwise, you'd only be or mostly be earning them through actual gambling in person mainly, or spend at the hotels and dining and all that. So earning the comps with the credit card is interesting, especially at 7x. I think this is appealing to people who already have many credit cards. Of course, the answer to everything is more credit cards. So for those who have been in the miles and points hobby for years, they're finished with Chase cards. They've gotten the more valuable cards with other issuers. They're not looking at getting back in with Chase because they've already had so many cards. They're not eligible for Chase anymore, or they already have 10 Chase cards. So for those looking for a new card, and they probably don't have cards with Comenity that issues this card or Bread Financial, this could be an interesting option for those running low on options. This is also an interesting card for big spenders. So for those that are doing a lot of creative spend, maybe a lot of business spend, and you're running into credit limits, you have other cards, you're only getting maybe 2% cash back after you've exhausted the better and bigger categories. I spend a lot each month, so here's a card that I can get a high spend goal and get casino status with. I think there's an appeal for that. For those that don't do creative spend, those that are maybe lightly into this hobby, I don't think it's going to be worth spending $50,000 on this card in a calendar year. But of course, my response would be find more creative ways to spend. But for those that aren't, or they aren't dedicating the time, this card is probably a pass. But I think Very appealing for the casino regulars, very appealing for the tier matching, appealing for the occasional travelers, and definitely appealing to the more intermediate and advanced audience with many credit cards.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And if people need help figuring out more creative ways to spend, Justin, they can come see us in Giant at Willow Grove.
Oh, yes. The Greater Philadelphia Travel Credit Miles and Points Meetup. That time I said it.
Yeah, because I'm never going to write, Justin. It's too many words. Many words.
It's also an appealing credit card for those doing the online gambling, the online blackjack, the online video poker, whatever there happens to be. But again, a little bit of caution on that cash advance. However that process is, I'm not so clear about that, but maybe you're paying a very slight amount in fees, but then you're getting back the reward credits and potentially some deposit bonuses and play bonuses. With the Caesars websites, I've been seeing daily, almost daily bonuses of $10, $15. The other day I saw a $30 deposit bonus. So that can definitely offset the small or likely small cash advance fees. But as the WWE wrestler Naomi says, proceed with caution.
Speaking of proceeding with caution, I can hear the excitement and anticipation in your voice, Justin. You are eager to sign up for this card, but wait.
Yes.
Yes. But wait, Justin, there's a problem. Is there a problem? Do we know if there's a problem?
Yes. I say that with a sigh for sure, because when I heard about this card announcement a day or two ago, I called the number on the back of the card, the existing Caesars no annual fee credit card. I called customer service, and customer service wasn't very helpful. They actually told me to call customer service. So this was
my friend.
South Park. Yes. This was the South Park episode Grounded Vindaloop, where the boys are maybe stuck in virtual reality, maybe not. It's not so clear. And they call customer service. Customer service didn't know what to do, and customer service had to call customer service, and that created another problem. So I'm talking to the agent asking, can I product change to the new card? Is there an upgrade path to the new card? What is exactly going on? And they didn't have answers. They told me to call the same number that I called, which is just ridiculous. And I informed him very politely, the number that you provided to me is the same number that I used to speak with you. So I don't think this is going to work.
Did I answer all your questions courteously, Justin?
That is the point of customer service. Yeah, so it didn't make any sense. Yes, he did answer the questions as the South Park episode was. And I asked about upgrading. I asked about product changing because this card has really strange terms, I think. They roll out this brand new Caesars credit card. And I would think that most of the people who'd be interested in applying for the new card already have the old card. It's been marketed for years, maybe 10 years, maybe more. Even when it was Total Rewards, they changed to Caesars Rewards a few years ago. People are still getting it wrong and still calling it Total Rewards. R.I.P. Daryl McEwen, of course, of the 7 Stars Insider. But it used to be the Total Rewards Visa. Now it's the Caesars Rewards Visa. So the card has been around for a very long time. And I imagine many people outside of Miles and Points see the advertisements in the casino, they sign up for the card, and now, since you can't have both cards, they're excluding a very large portion of people who would be interested in the new card. So you can't have the new card and the old card at the same time. So since you can't have both, and I recently applied for many credit cards and would probably get declined if I outright applied after canceling the old card, I want to get this new card. I want to get the tier before the end of the calendar year to get the next level of status. But they're telling me that I can't product change, I can't upgrade. You can only apply for the card. And customer service was telling me to apply for the new card. And I told customer service, the terms say I can't do that. I can't have both at the same time. So this was very strange calls with customer service. They did not get the memo about the new card.
And unfortunately, that's not surprising, right? How many times have we spoken with someone, even at the world's funnest bank, right? Where we have a question, we think we know the answer. We're 95% sure of the answer. And they give us an answer that we hadn't even considered. And it turns out to be not true. So it sounds, to your point, this is maybe a bad rollout. The reps don't really know what's going on. They don't have the one-page memo. Perhaps down the road, a week or so here, when you're back from Alaska, your cruise to Alaska, that everything will be right as rain. They'll be emailing you looking for opportunities to upgrade that card, maybe with a small sign up or spend bonus, who knows? And if not, the opportunity to sign up for the card and allow you to have two cards, just like Cardless changed their mind. Maybe Comenity and Caesars Rewards will also want to change their mind.
Yes, MGM even allows you to have the legacy no annual fee MGM MasterCard and the new MGM Iconic credit card. So this wasn't a problem at all. I applied for the Iconic card. I was thankfully approved with the generous credit limit as well. So I have both MGM credit cards right now, and I'd love to have both Caesars credit cards. Even product changing without a bonus for a welcome offer, I would still do it and sacrifice the sign-up bonus because I'd like to get this tier before the end of the year. So please, Comenity, please, Caesars, I will pay your $149 annual fee. I'll even pay $150 if you want. And I just want this new card. So yes, maybe there will be a consolation email. We're very sorry for the confusion, but we are offering existing cardholders to upgrade, and we'll waive that annual fee the first year. Maybe we'll give you a slight bonus, or even if they just give no bonus, I'd still do it and pay the $150 to get these extra benefits, the $100 dining credit, the $50 slot play, more earning, and the ability to load to the Caesars websites for online gambling. So a really bad rollout, and I really like you, Caesars Rewards, but this was a terrible rollout. This would be like Chase saying, hey, we released the new Chase Sapphire Reserve, we released the new Chase Sapphire Business, but hey, if you currently have any business card with Chase, you can't apply for the new one. Or, oh, you currently have a Chase Freedom or a Freedom Unlimited, then you're not eligible to apply for the Sapphire Reserve. It just makes no sense. A more reasonable thing they would do is have some kind of cool-off period and saying, like MGM did recently, you're only allowed to get a sign-up bonus once per year on either card. So why exclude your audience?
All right, Tom Reeg, you're listening. We know you're listening. You've brought us this card. Now you just need to make a small change to allow Justin get the card and think of all the free publicity you'll get. So we know you're listening. Between probably summer vacations to the various Caesars properties throughout the world, we'll wait for your message and the changes to the terms.
And there might be some hope, at least according to a commenter on the Caesars Rewards Facebook page. I posted about my issues with this card, and someone responded claiming a rep told them to call in on July 23rd, 2025 and ask for an upgrade offer. So I don't know what's so special about July 23rd. It's currently the 16th we're recording. So that's about a week, and I'll have my cell service in Alaska. So I'll be excited to call while in Ketchikan or Juneau or wherever I'll happen to be. I'm walking through Alaska. I'm walking back to the cruise ship, and I'll chat with Comenity on the phone and hopefully not be on the phone for an hour and maybe get a straight answer. Very bad rollouts. If you're going to allow an upgrade or a change on July 23rd, 2025, that'd be great, but why not have done that when the card rolled out?
So for Justin, for those folks that do not currently have a Caesars card like myself, what sort of timing would you recommend for this card? Is this something to get early in the year, late in the year? Doesn't matter?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think the strategy is similar to the MGM credit cards, that one of the biggest benefits of these cards is likely spending towards status. So if you apply at the end of the calendar year, October or November, that's not going to be so good because then you're not going to be able to get in enough spend to reach these higher spend goals for the bonus tier credits. So you probably would want to get the card very late in the year and then wait until the new calendar year to spend, or just wait until early January and apply.
Yeah, that makes sense. And certainly for folks that have already qualified, you want to time that so that whatever tier you're going to earn is going to go to the next year and ensures that you have continuity in that tier.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than the MGM tier because the tier earning posts when the statement closes. And this one, it's spend based on the calendar year. So if you got approved on December 1st, all your spending from early December to the end of the calendar year won't count towards the spend you need to do to get the tier. So maybe an application on December 26th, day after Christmas, and then by the time the card arrives in the mail, the ball drops and your new flashy Caesars credit card arrives, and then you could start spending towards status.
It is prestigious after all, Justin. So
not iconic.
Not exactly.
So you can time it, and maybe some people would want to get it now as the card releases. Maybe it's a higher sign-up bonus than it will be in the future. We don't know that, so it's a little bit of a gamble. It's very on point. Or if you want to get the free parking, if you want to have some of these benefits, the free play, the dining credit, the hotel night, then you could get that, because that seems to be based on a calendar year. Although sometimes it's confusing of which year is it, the anniversary year or the calendar year. So I could be mistaken, but it's a new card, so we'll see how these things go into effect.
Exciting opportunities here, Justin. That's the great thing about these credit card programs, right? They always present us with new opportunities, and we're looking for ways to make them work for us. So what do you think? Final thoughts?
I like it, but I don't love it. I'll stick to that. It's bizarre that we can't just product change or upgrade right now. It's bizarre that we can't just have both cards. The cash advance thing is not a good element. I wish it just was a purchase and then there were no additional fees. So there's some weaknesses, but the big positives are the higher tier earning. The 7X earning is somewhat interesting. And the ability to load to the Caesars websites is very interesting too. More deposit bonuses, play bonuses, and even more tier on the base game, especially since it's hard to get money on those sites using prepaid cards and other debit cards.
Yeah, certainly some opportunity there. And I was thinking, even if someone has a trip planned to Vegas and is planning on staying in one of the casino hotels, Caesars casino hotels, maybe this is a card you pick up for $150, right? You automatically get upgraded to platinum. If you're going to stay for any length of time, you're probably going to spend that much on parking anyway and resort fees. And so maybe it's an easy proposition no matter what time of year. And then you try to time your spend if you're going to go for a higher spend goal to earn a higher tier status in that following year. So certainly a lot of different ways to approach that.
It's July 16th as we're recording. Maybe some people are planning to go to Zorkfest in December. So maybe getting the credit card in August or tomorrow when the episode releases, and then they could spend their way to diamond status and have that for Las Vegas. That could be an option as well. So it's going to depend. We talk about different goals that different people have and different spending, different priorities. There's potential here. It's a niche card for sure. It has its problems, but it also has its benefits. So maybe around a 6 out of 10 for this card for my purposes.
That's probably a fair score. Maybe 6.5. There's some opportunity here if we play our cards right, Justin. Oh,
and if more tier matches show up and it gets harder to match in other ways, then I think the card becomes more powerful. And every time these tier matching promotions come out, people lament, oh, I can't just match from Hilton anymore. I can't just match from Wyndham anymore. And they miss these opportunities. So I've been saying for years, instead of relying on status matching, do things that will get you the status so you won't miss these opportunities.
Yeah. Obviously, the answer to all the problems is
more credit cards.
So you mentioned, Justin, you're going to be maybe applying for this card or talking to community about upgrading your card while you're on an Alaska cruise. Tell us a little bit about what's coming next.
Yes, I'm just back from the Holland America cruise in Norway, the Fjord cruise. I was pining for the fjords, as someone posted. I thought that was cool. I was in Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and that was a complimentary cruise thanks to Wynn Las Vegas tier matching. So that went really well. And it's an Alaska cruise coming up this weekend. I don't like that it's so back to back, but I'll be cruising with past podcast guest Mandy, whose schedule was quite limited. So it's about a week in between cruises, flying out to San Francisco, and it's a long one. It's an 11-day cruise. It's 2 sea days to get there, and the initial day, so 2.5. But going to new locations, as I mentioned earlier, it's going back to San Francisco. Then I'm going to fly from San Francisco to Vegas. I have 3 nights at Wyndham Desert Blue using Wyndham points that we've been accruing for such a long time with the 8X gas earning. Still loving that. And then I have a 2-night comp stay at Park MGM Las Vegas using the My Vegas rewards. And I've had a very good track record of getting room upgrades in Las Vegas with my MGM Platinum status from MGM Credit Card spend. I was at MGM Grand and I got an upgrade to an Executive King Suite a few months ago. I was at Aria and I got an upgrade to the Sky Suites, which was a really big deal. That went for, I think, $1,500 a night that people are paying for, or is advertised. But I guess, yeah, some are paying. It is Vegas after all. So I'm hoping to get the upgrade at Park MGM. I've never stayed at Park MGM, so I'll try that, see how it goes. I really like the location of Park MGM. You can just walk out the back door, basically, and hop on the MGM tram and get around to Vegas, go right to Bellagio, see the conservatory, and redeem many of the My Vegas food rewards as well. So all these rumors about Vegas food being expensive, Vegas drinks being expensive, we'll just continue debunking that and not running with stories about mini bar water that is $25. Ooh, okay, avoid the mini bar, guys. That's always been the basic strategy, right? So we'll get some nice things in Vegas with My Vegas deploying the phone army once again. So I'm excited for Alaska and Vegas. It seems like, hey, if I'm in California and I'm flying back to Philadelphia, I might as well stop at Vegas on the way back.
Absolutely. I know you like to string these trips together, and like you said, so you don't like to maybe do some of these cruises so close, but travel hacker's dilemma, right? You got to take advantage when you can do it and enjoy the time there.
Yeah, in the past, I flew to Chicago for Chicago seminars. And after Chicago, I went to Vegas. I figured I'm about halfway there, so I could fly out. And at that point, there was also a tier match opportunity as well. And then we had the meeting of the minds at Rio, Las Vegas. But I already have my Hyatt Globalist status, so I don't have as much incentive to stay at Rio now, especially since I have all these Wyndham points and want to use that. And then I have the comp stay with MGM through My Vegas. So this time we'll mix it up with Wyndham and Park MGM. So I'm looking forward to that. And we had to record this episode with these new announcements. So thanks for coming on. It was hot weather, stormy, but we made it through.
We persevered, Justin. The technology, not always cooperative, but we're podcasters of the people. We need to share this important message, and we want to make sure folks are aware of new opportunities and how they can leverage them in their opportunities and interests in traveling the world at free or no cost. Low cost? One of these days I'll get it right.
Travel at low cost with points and miles.
Wait, you said you didn't sing it. You just sang it. So now.
Yes. So interesting news with a new credit card. Hopefully we'll have an upgrade path, a product change path, or they just remove the one card rule and change their mind like Cardless did.
Yeah, I hope so. Cardless is going to have build cards soon, so they're going to have all sorts of extra cards to choose from. But yeah, I think, like you said, it doesn't make a lot of sense from a marketing perspective that the people that are most likely to apply for this card already have the other card. If they're trying, and it again depends on, to some extent, what their goals are. If they're trying to expand their customer base, I see that. But if they're trying to capture more value by adding this annual fee, geez, the way to do that is to ensure there's an upgrade pathway. So I got to think that's going to happen, if not on the July 23rd day, but someday.
A day that going down in history.
Exactly. Sometime soon after that.
Oh, yes. The other strategy is potentially canceling the no annual fee card and then applying for the new card. But I think that's strange because there's a possibility that you cancel the card, then you apply, and then you get declined for weird reasons. One could be that the system still recognizes the card and it takes a while for the system to clear the card. And you have to call in for reconsideration. That might not work. And then you might get declined due to recently opened accounts, too many recent inquiries, or structure of your business for all we know. We've heard that recently. Lack of real estate ownership, all these weird decline reasons that could come about. And I think it would be really strange to tell someone outside of miles and points, hey, you have to cancel that Caesars card that you have now and then apply for the new one. But that's really what they're saying here. If you want this new card, you need to cancel your existing card, or you're just not eligible.
Maybe. Like today.
July 23rd.
Today, that's the case. So I would say if you're currently a card holder, don't get out your jump to conclusions map. Just go on your cruise, Justin. see how things play out here
Yep.
for the next week or so. And when you're back in Philadelphia, give community a call or see what news has broken or updated. Hopefully by that time they've come to their senses.
And since I applied for cards in early July, I think I'd be declined if I cancel and applied today. So if no changes happen, if there's no product change path, no upgrade path, no rule change, then I'd probably cancel this card around October. After a statement closes, all the rewards are posted, everything is settled. Cancel the card in late 2025 and then apply for the card in January and then have the whole calendar year to spend to hit that tier goal, the 50K spend for all the tier.
Yeah, I think that timing makes sense, right? And you'd have tier carrying over to carry you into the year such that you'd start at a high tier and then have the whole year to meet the spend for the tier the next year, plus gambling probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yes. More video poker, 10x promotions, more online blackjack. Yes. This will be a good augment, I believe is the word we're looking for.
I agree.
Augmented
Yeah.
reality.
Justin, always a pleasure to join you, especially when exciting news breaks. Do you want to do a wrap up here and tell folks where folks can find you when we're not doing these exciting podcasts?
Yes, we have a lot coming up. Ticket sales for Zorkfest 2025, a Miles Points and Gambling event, are live at zorkfest.travelzork.com. I hope to see you at Zorkfest 2025 in Las Vegas, December 5th through the 7th at M Resort Casino Hotel. I'll also be speaking at Chicago Seminars, Hyatt Regency O'Hare, November 7th through the 9th, 2025. Use promo code Hurdy Gurdy when buying a ticket to support me. Also join me October 24th through the 26th, 2025 for Chicago Seminars at Holiday Inn, Chicago Oakbrook. Use promo code I must have a promo code 20 for $20 off tickets.
Still the best promo code.
Visit meetup.com/Philly miles and points to RSVP for monthly Greater Philadelphia travel. Credit miles and points meetups I host in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. The next meetup is August 24th, 2025. Find a link in the show notes. For more content between podcast episodes, follow Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast on Facebook and X. Follow Justin Vacula on Instagram. Subscribe to Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast on YouTube for daily content, including travel videos, podcast clips, community, and posts. Search Hurdy Gurdy Travel on subscribestar.com or become a channel member on YouTube to support my efforts starting at the $5 a month tip jar level. Receive special perks at higher levels, including private one-on-one conversations and asking podcast guests your questions. Find links and more at hurdygurdytravel.com. I'm now an affiliate with Card Pointers. Use my affiliate link, cardpointers.com/hurdygurdytravel for a discount on annual and lifetime plans. Card Pointers has a great app and browser tools to automatically activate credit card linked offers from various banks to maximize your savings. The website udio.com created the podcast intro and outro music. AI features of the website Descript helped me edit and improve audio quality. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Travel at low cost with points and miles. Credit card rewards bring the smiles. Many adventures, tales to be told. Make and save money, the world will unfold. Fight the war on happiness, pick up the gold. Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast breaks the mold.